Jeffrey Epstein was once a name whispered in elite circles, a financier with powerful connections, immense wealth, and access to some of the most influential people in the world. But behind the image of success was a story that would later become one of the most controversial criminal cases in modern American history. Jeffrey Edward Epstein was born on January 20th, 1953, in Brooklyn, New York. He grew up in a middle-class family in Coney Island. By most accounts, his early life did not suggest the global scandal that would later unfold. He attended Lafayette High School and was considered intelligent, particularly in mathematics. After high school, Epstein briefly attended Cooper Union and later New York University. However, he never completed a college degree. Despite this, he would soon enter spaces typically reserved for highly credentialed professionals. In the mid-1970s, Epstein began teaching mathematics at Dalton School, a prestigious private school in Manhattan. It was unusual for someone without a college degree to be hired at such an institution. During his time there, he built connections with wealthy parents of students, connections that would later change the course of his life. Through one of these relationships, Epstein was introduced to Alan Ace Greenberg, CEO of the investment bank Bear Stearns. Impressed by his intelligence, Greenberg gave Epstein an opportunity on Wall Street. Epstein quickly rose within Bear Stearns, working in the special products division, which handled complex financial strategies for wealthy clients. By the early 1980s, Epstein left Bear Stearns and launched his own financial firm. He described his business as managing money exclusively for billionaires. Over time, he accumulated properties in New York, Florida, New Mexico, Paris, and a private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Epstein cultivated relationships with politicians, business leaders, academics, and celebrities. He donated to universities and positioned himself as a philanthropist interested in science and research. Publicly, he appeared to be a mysterious but successful financier. However, serious allegations began surfacing in the mid-2000s. In 2008, Epstein faced state charges in Florida related to the solicitation of underage girls. Instead of going to federal trial, he reached a controversial plea agreement with prosecutors. He served 13 months in a county jail under a work release program that allowed him to leave the facility for extended hours each day. The deal sparked outrage years later, as critics argued it was unusually lenient given the severity of the allegations. Questions were raised about how such an agreement had been approved. For a time, the case faded from national headlines. But in 2019, new federal charges were brought against Epstein in New York. Prosecutors accused him of operating a sex trafficking network involving minors between 2002 and 2005. He was arrested in July 2019 and denied bail. While awaiting trial at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan, Epstein was found unresponsive in his cell on August 10, 2019. He was pronounced dead shortly afterward. The official ruling by the New York City medical examiner determined the cause of death to be suicide by hanging. However, his death immediately generated widespread public debate and numerous questions. Reports later revealed failures within the jail system, including malfunctioning cameras and guards who had fallen asleep during their shift. Multiple investigations were conducted into the circumstances surrounding his death. Epstein's case had far-reaching consequences. His former associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, was later convicted on federal charges related to sex trafficking and sentenced to prison. Beyond the courtroom, the scandal forced institutions, powerful figures, and the justice system itself to face scrutiny. It raised difficult questions about wealth, influence, accountability, and whether the legal system treats all individuals equally. Jeffrey Epstein's story is ultimately one of power and secrecy, a rise through elite financial circles, followed by a dramatic and controversial downfall. Years later, the case continues to be discussed not only because of the crimes alleged, but because of what it revealed about privilege, access, and the structures of power in modern society.